with me Nusrat, lecturer in English, Milestone College. How are you all, my dear students? I believe you all are fine and very busy with your studies right now. My today's online class is on English first paper, and the topic that we are going to discuss today has been taken from Unit 12, that is Environment and Nature. From this unit, the lesson that we are going to discuss today is very interesting because from this lesson we are going to know about a very interesting and cute looking animal that we still have in this world. It's not small in size, though it's really big. Still, it looks almost like a cartoon figure. And all of us, we know that. And that is giant panda. In this lesson, we are going to know the situation or present condition of this beautiful animal, giant panda, in Qingling region of China, and their food habit and what is going to happen with them in future. From this lesson, we will be able to know why the panda population is decreasing day by day, what we human beings can do to prevent them from being extinct. First of all, we will read this lesson very carefully and then we will practice a flowchart. And before practicing the flowchart, I will be showing you how are we going to prepare our flowchart successfully. Before we start, let's see a short video clip on those giant pandas in Qingling region of China. Let's see the video first.
In spring, the arrow bamboos high up in the Qingling Mountains sprout new leaves. The Bashan bamboos at lower altitudes also begin their fastest period of growth of the year. The shoots of Bashan bamboo and the tender leaves of arrow bamboo draw the attention of various wildlife species. Compared with other animal species, the giant panda has a special affinity to bamboos. It needs these plants to survive. Giant pandas in the wild feed on over 50 kinds of plants. Bamboos account for 99% of its annual food intake. The giant panda has a lifelong loyalty to bamboos as its staple food. The giant panda has been around for at least 8 million years. They were once a carnivorous species. However, despite years of evolution, they still have a typical digestive system of carnivores. The bamboos of low nutritional value are the panda's only staple food. To acquire enough energy, an adult panda has to eat about 50 to 70 kilograms of bamboos daily, about half of its body weight, to fill its belly. The giant panda spends about 14 hours a day chewing on the branches and leaves. The rest of the day is mostly spent in dreams. Lying on the back, on the side, or on the stomach, stretching out, or curling up, they like all kinds of sleeping positions.
My dear students, aren't they really adorable? Let us know something more about these lazy creatures. So let's read our today's lesson first, which is taken from Unit 12, Lesson 3. Let's read it first carefully. Unit 12, Environment and Nature, Lesson 3, The Giant Panda. Pandas' bamboo food may be lost to climate change. In this passage, we will be talking about the food habit of panda and the only food that they depend on mostly, that is bamboo, and what is the future of these bamboo species that these pandas rely on. Let's read the passage carefully. Though they are one of the most beloved animal species on Earth, pandas aren't safe from the devastating effects of climate change. And devastating means highly destructive. According to a new study, projected temperature increases in China over the next century will likely seriously hinder bamboo, almost the sole source of food for endangered pandas. These pandas highly depend on these bamboo species, especially three bamboo species, and their growth could be seriously hindered. Hinder means stopped or restricted because of the increased amount of temperature or the global warming. 99% of a panda's diet is bamboo, and an adult panda needs around 38 kilograms of bamboo every day. Only if bamboo can move to new habitats at higher elevations will pandas stand a chance of survival, the researchers said. And habitat means residence or home, and elevation means height. That means the bamboo, those who are growing, if they want to, or if people want to continue their growth in the same amount, they should be taken to a new cooler place, in a higher place or in another mountain range where these bamboo species would be able to grow in plenty, and as well as these pandas will get their diet or this bamboo as their food. However, if conservation programs wait too long, human inhabitants and activities could claim all of the new habitats capable of supporting bamboo in a warming world. That means if this conservation program, that means protection program, as we all know, these giant pandas rely highly on these bamboo species, three special bamboo species, those who grow in Qingling region in China. These bamboo species need to be preserved if people or we want to preserve these panda species as well. Otherwise, these giant panda are already endangered. They could get extinct if they don't get their only food that they highly rely on. It is tough, but I think there is still hope. If we take action now, said research team member Jianguo Liu. If we wait, then we could be too late. So one of the research team member, Jianguo Liu, has predicted that though it could be tough, the plan could be tough, but there is no time to make late. If they wait for too long, it might be too late. The researchers used various climate change models to project the future for three bamboo species relied on by pandas in the Qingling Mountain region of China, which represents about a quarter of the total remaining panda habitat. That means presently in this world, the amount of panda, those who are still available or living, one-fourth of them live in this area, this Qingling Mountain region of China. So it's very important to preserve these bamboo species if we want to preserve this rare panda species as well. These models varied in their specific predictions, but each forecasted some level of temperature rise within the coming century. Different research members presented different models, but each one of them has forecasted or has given the warning of temperature rise. And if temperature rise in those areas, the growth of these bamboo should be hindered. The results suggest that if the bamboo is restricted to its current distribution area, between 80 and 100% of it will disappear by the end of the 21st century because it won't be able to grow under the increased temperatures. So that means these specific bamboo species need a particular temperature to grow properly. So if they are not taken to a different place, different habitation, so nearly 100% of these species will disappear, and ultimately the panda population will also decrease. If, however, bamboo can move into new cooler areas which will reach the same temperatures as current bamboo habitats due to warming, then there is hope. However, all depend on the extent to which humans can curtail climate change by limiting greenhouse gas emissions in the future. That means these bamboo habitats could be taken to another place where, due to global warming, the temperature will ultimately reach to the temperature which is suitable for these bamboo species to grow. And then within few years, there will be an environment to grow these bamboos over there, and to shift the panda population also over there should be possible. So it's a big, giant program to do that people are planning for. And if they late for too long, then it might be too late. Many pandas in the wild currently live in nature preserves, protected from human encroachment. Encroachment means trespass or attack. They are kept in reservoirs, and however, almost all of the land encompassed by those reserves will be unsuitable for the bamboo if the temperatures rise as predicted. And the area that these reserves encompass or surround is not going to be suitable anymore in future. But if conservationists plan ahead now to move those reserves in line with changing bamboo habitats, then it may be possible to preserve the land the pandas will need. The climate change is not the only challenge facing giant pandas, one of the most endangered species in the world, researchers say. Human activities have already severely limited the animals' habitats, and their dependence on a single source of food, one that is not that nutrient or energy or rich, doesn't help. That means this is not the only challenge that these giant pandas are facing, that their living areas is decreasing, or the bamboo habitat is also decreasing. It is also not that wise to depend only on one item or one food only. In addition to their native habitats in China, pandas live around the world in zoos and breeding centers. But Liu doesn't predict a bright future for the bears if they lose their wild habitats. Well, these wild animals need wild environment to have a proper life. Only zoos or breeding centers are not enough, or even not that healthy for them either. To really protect pandas, you cannot just stick them into a breeding center or a zoo, he said, noting that the animal's genetic diversity would suffer. Among other issues, that's not a long term solution. Zoos and breeding centers are not the suitable places for wild animals at all. Dear students, did you understand the lesson? I believe you did. This is a very easy and interesting topic that you have in your EFT book. Now, we're going to attempt a flowchart basing on this lesson. But before we do that, let me tell you some of the features of a flowchart. Well, flowchart is the only item that is presented in a diagram. It needs to follow certain diagram and certain rules to present it. What are the rules? Let me tell you them first. Now, we are going to attempt a flowchart on the passage that we just have read. And here I have shown you one sample question. We normally get flowchart in question number 2. And let's read the question first. And then we will attempt, and I will also talk about what are the rules that we need to follow when we are attempting a flowchart. The question says, read the following text and make short note in each of the boxes in the flowchart showing the food habits of panda and the effect of climate change on it. Here, number 1 is given. Bamboo is the sole source for endangered pandas. So now we have to put other informations regarding the food habits of panda and the effect of climate change on their food habit. And how are we going to complete them? Let me show you, and what are the rules that we are going to follow. My dear students, flowchart is the only item that we present in a diagram, and while preparing a diagram, we have to be little careful. And here are the rules. How are we going to present them? Number one, at first give a title. Your flowchart should have a title. In that case, follow the question. Number two, use rectangular or square shaped boxes. Number three, boxes can be horizontally or vertically arranged. Number four, use arrow sign between two boxes. Number five, use numerical letters serially in each box. And number six, start points with capital letters. Here are some of the examples of some wrong patterns that often our students present in their copy. As we know that the boxes should be arranged either horizontally or vertically. So this one is a wrong pattern. We cannot present our boxes in two lines. Here is another one. My dear students, can you guess what's wrong here? Though it is arranged in just one line, but what's wrong? There is no use of arrow over here. So no arrow, no marks will be given in the exam. So please be careful while presenting them in your copy. My dear students, please maintain order. Order means the information that comes first in the passage, please write those informations first in your flowchart also. Answer in short notes or phrases. That means we cannot use full sentence. We have to make it short. Number 9, avoid articles and prepositions. It will help you to make the sentence short and to prepare a phrase. Number 10 says, avoid punctuation marks at the end. As it is not a full sentence, so there is no point of using any punctuation mark at the end. Number 11, most importantly, avoid full sentence. Don't you ever use a full sentence inside the flowchart. Then what can we use to prepare the short notes or phrases? We can use verbs, and verbs could be in these forms, verb plus ing or infinitive form. You can start your point using being or having. We can use noun phrase and we can use adjectives also. Now let's attempt the flowchart that we have taken for our today's practice. And how are we going to make the headline or the title? The flowchart showing the food habits of panda and the effect of climate change on it is given below. We have to make a title like this. And the first point that is given in the question, we will also show it in the copy. And then don't forget to use an arrow. And then use the box. And we can arrange them vertically or horizontally, but I prefer this arrangement which allows us to use more space for our writing. Number 2, the point is 99% of pandas' diet is bamboo. Yes, we are talking about their food habit first, and then we will also talk about the effect of climate change on it because we have found them in this serial in the passage. So as I told you earlier, follow the order. We are following our information order also over here. Then next one, 99% of pandas' diet is bamboo, and an adult panda needs around 38 kilograms of bamboo every year. We have already put this information earlier. Now we are going to add this information. An adult panda needs around 38 kilograms of bamboo every day. So let's write it. We are adding an arrow, and here we have the third option. An adult panda needs around 38 kilograms of bamboo every day. For next information, what we have, they eat not all the species of bamboo, especially 3 bamboo species relied on by pandas in the Qingling Mountain region of China. So how are we going to shorten this? We are going to write in this way. Pandas in the Qingling Mountains rely on 3 species of bamboo. You can avoid this name in the Qingling Mountains. Then it will be helpful for you to make it shorter. Next information, between 80 and 100% of it will disappear by the end of 21st century because it won't be able to grow under the increased temperatures. We have 2 informations over here, the future or the effect of climate change on bamboo. And 80 to 100% of it will disappear. Of what? The bamboo species. So let's write that information first. Between 80 to 100% of bamboo will disappear by the end of the 21st century. And next, our last information that we are going to go, it won't be able to grow under the increased temperature. So let's put this information at the last. Bamboo will not be able to grow under the increased temperature. This is how we can prepare a flowchart from the given passage. My dear students, did you attempt to complete the boxes by yourself? I believe you did. Isn't it really easy and interesting to prepare a flowchart? Yes, it is. So, my dear students, I believe that you would be able to prepare our flowcharts very successfully in your exam and score good marks in it. With the hope of your better result and better education, I'm going to end up my today's class here. See you some other time with some other topic. Till then, bye-bye.